Hello, my friend. Welcome back. Today's topic is the Vikings. We will tell their history in another video. Today's topic is who managed to stop the Vikings. They came from the north. They were fast. Their eyes saw nothing. Nobody was expecting these people. The Vikings were in their prime. The Vikings were some of the most powerful warriors in history. They crossed the seas. They attacked cities and towns. They took gold, food, and people. Everyone was afraid of them, but someone stopped them. Actually, many people stopped them. The story of these people is worth listening to. Today we are going to learn about the people who stood against the Vikings. While you listen to this story, your English will also get stronger. If you are ready, let's begin. It was the 800s. Europe was not ready. In many places there were no strong armies. There were no high walls. There were no warning systems. The Vikings lived in Scandinavia. Scandinavia covers the countries we call Norway, Sweden, and Denmark today. The Vikings were very skilled at building ships. These ships could travel across the ocean, but they could also travel on rivers. This feature was advanced technology for that period. The Vikings used this advantage. The first major Viking attack in England happened in the year 793. They attacked a monastery called Lindisfarne. A monastery is a place where religious men live and work. The monks there had no weapons. They had no soldiers. The Vikings took everything. For the next 100 years, the Vikings attacked again and again. They attacked France. They attacked Ireland. They attacked Spain. They even reached North Africa and the Middle East. Viking ships were everywhere in the world. They burned and destroyed every place they could reach. Nobody dared to stop them. Years passed. New kings rose in Europe. The first great defender of Europe was a man named Alfred. His full name was Alfred the Great. He was the king of Wessex, a kingdom in southern England. Alfred was not a soldier at first. He was a thinker. He loved books. He loved learning. When the Vikings attacked his kingdom, he was forced to fight. In the year 878, the Vikings destroyed almost everything Alfred had. His army suffered a great defeat. There was no longer an army. His people were fleeing. Alfred himself was hiding in a house in the mountains. He was alone. He had almost nothing. Can you empathize? A king hiding in a house in the mountains with no army and no hope. But Alfred did not give up. He waited. He made plans. He secretly built a new army. He came back. Alfred defeated the Viking leader Guthrum at the Battle of Edington. This was a turning point. Alfred did not just win the battle. He made peace with Guthrum. He even convinced Guthrum to become a Christian. This was a very smart move. It was not just a military victory, it was also a political one. This change had made both sides friends. Alfred thought the Vikings might attack again. For that reason, he also built a new navy. His ships were bigger than Viking ships. Alfred was brave. Alfred was smart. Alfred never gave up. Alfred was thinking about the future. He could not stop the Vikings completely, but he slowed them down. He protected his people. He showed all of Europe that the Vikings could be defeated. In France, another man showed resistance against the Vikings. His name was Robert the Strong. He was a powerful lord in the region we call France today. Robert fought the Vikings many times. He died in battle in the year 866. His grandson was a man named Odo. Odo became the Count of Paris. In the year 885, a huge Viking army attacked Paris. I recommend you watch the video where we told the history of Paris. The Viking army was enormous. Some historians estimate there were more than 30,000 warriors. They came to Paris. They demanded gold. They said, "Give us everything, or we will destroy your city." Odo refused to surrender. He closed the gates of Paris. He designed the defense. He fought every day without tiring. The Vikings attacked for more than a year. They tried everything. But Paris was not defeated. The Viking army had fallen apart. Odo was exactly the person the people of Paris needed. He was strong. He was determined. The Vikings eventually withdrew. They could not take Paris. In Ireland, the story was different. The Vikings actually built cities there. They began to farm and settle. Dublin, the capital of Ireland today, was first built by the Vikings. They settled. They traded. They became part of Irish life. But the Irish did not want to live with them. They did not feel safe. The great Irish king's name was Brian Boru. He was one of the most powerful kings in Irish history. He united many Irish kingdoms. This was a great achievement. Irish kings did not usually work together, but Brian was a strong leader. In the year 1014, Brian Boru fought the Vikings and their Irish allies at the Battle of Clontarf. It was a very bloody battle. Many people died on both sides. Brian's army won. After this battle, Viking power in Ireland was broken. They still lived there, but they could never control Ireland again. So who stopped the Vikings? This was not a question with a single answer. There was no single hero. There was no single moment. Alfred the Great stopped them in England. Odo stopped them in Paris. Brian Boru stopped them in Ireland. And over time, the Vikings themselves changed. They built new lives in the places they had conquered. They married local people. They learned local languages. Instead of being raiders, they became farmers and traders. The Viking Age slowly came to an end, not with one great battle, but with time, with resistance, and with change. The Vikings were powerful. Everyone was afraid of them. But the people who stopped them had one thing in common. They did not give up. Alfred lost everything and came back. Odo was surrounded and held on. Brian Boru was old and still fought. Learning English is not always easy. Some days are hard. Some words are difficult to learn. Some grammar rules are confusing. But you are still here. You are still listening and trying. That is exactly what Alfred did in the mountains. That is exactly what Odo did in Paris. Every lesson you finish is a small victory. Every new word you learn is a door that opens. You are putting in effort to improve yourself. Thank you so much for listening to this story today. I hope you enjoyed learning about the people who stopped the Vikings. I hope it was useful for your English too. If you like this story, please leave a like. If you want to hear more stories like this, please subscribe to our channel. Your support motivates us. If you have ideas for future stories, please leave a comment below. I am curious about who or what you want to hear about next. See you in the next story, my friends.